feel like that's the right choice.
TL's style matches up really well, and if TL was a better team, they would beat IG.
他们小组赛一开始打的也不是很好，那到后面的话一直是打得很亮，所以我们也不能一直觉得他们是很弱的战队。
You know, when you're going impact into the shy, slight edge to the shy.
Team Liquid without their big engage mechanism is going to have a very difficult time defending, and then here we go. Pop Blossom takes Ning down. It's IG on the run. A double kill over the impact. Balon's also going to follow his.
You know, you go Jensen into rookie, edge to rookie, like.
Still alive, but now he falls too. A shockwave into 3. Good lord, man, that's Jensen making the move.
Sure. When you go like Smithy into Null, like Null.
Is of the highest caliber, means everything. Now Smithy goes again towards
The trouble bubble has missed, and that means you are in trouble yourself. Rookie taking a lot of damage, comes back in.
Maybe if TL plays out their fucking minds and like Smithy has the best series of his life, they go to 5 and lose 3-2.
From here, taken down. One more auto attack seals the deal. A double over to Smithy. Jackie loves your next target. More damage coming through. Smithy seals his fate. A triple for the Skarner.
Jensen flashes over the wall. He's gonna survive. Impact is here. Smithy's gonna get the stun.
Rookie in some trouble. He tries to stay alive. He's almost of an outplay. Smithy, but not quite yet. The damage isn't there. Balon, the last remaining member of Invictus Gaming, and Team Liquid finds their ace.
The only place I feel a little more confident in TL is the bot lane.
Enemy jungler. Ning's not able to find the kill. Instead, it's Balon now having to make the save. Everybody's coming in from both sides. A double kill over to Jensen. It's about to be 3.
If Invictus like slips up, maybe Team Liquid pulls a win, but I would be very surprised to see them win 2 matches.
Team Liquid will do it. Haters, be silent. Expectations, be damned. One of the biggest moments in League of Legends history as Team Liquid take down the reigning world champs.
What happens if it's an all-Western final? What if TL and G2 somehow both win?
I will drink 2 40s on the next stream.
Okay, that's all you.
Guys, that's literally what she said.
So, about that, Chase.
I might want to put one back in the cooler so it's cold.
I decided to have them both here.
Yeah, just so we can see what he's up against.
Oh, man.
Sadness ensued.
Happiness. Then sadness, and now more sadness.
Yeah, that's double the sadness.
I never said I was going to do 40 hands. I said I would drink 2 on stream.
Yeah, you literally just saw the clip. Chase, you want to kick things off?
Hello and welcome to League of Loggers. This is episode 16, I believe. We are talking about the MSI Finals and the final matches that happened before that, the semifinals.
Yeah,
I guess
semis and the
that's
finals.
what that means.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Tonight, your co-hosts, we have Stormy, Heather back this
She's
evening.
back. She's not Bucket de Cervezas this time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That was supposed to be your name this week. Is Bucket of Cervezas.
We had Cervezas last week, and we just set them in your chair because you weren't here.
Oh.
And then I was like, well, if she's Hispanic, does that make this more or less okay?
Well, I'm glad my chair was utilized. You know?
Yeah.
That being said, then we've got Kurtis James over on the far side, and then myself, I am Viking Redbeard, aka Chase.
AKA the saddest little muffin.
Well,
No.
yeah, I mean, I always enjoy doing these. Like,
I love
maybe not 2 of them at a time. Like,
Yeah.
I was so certain that that it was not going to come down to an all-Western final, and...
I mean, we both were. Like, you saw that clip. It was mostly just me saying, IG's way better. Mm-hmm. And then when I go, what happens if it's a Western final? You volunteered to drink double 40s. And I immediately after this said that it's not going to happen. That clip's not there, but I said, it's not going to happen. You don't have to worry about it.
I had faith that they'd get farther than, they ever have, which is they did, but they didn't take the final win, which I was counting on.
Well, let's start with the game that started it all off, which made us so confident in that bet, and which you saw several clips of. Team Liquid taking on IG. IG, reigning world champions. 9-1 in the group stage.
And that was the last game, correct, that they lost?
Yes, they lost the
very
last game to SKT.
At that point.
And they come up against TL, who only secured their way in without a tiebreaker because they beat G2 in their final game. And TL showed the hell up.
They did.
Yeah.
They were down in the first 2 games and came back.
Yeah, the first game they come back off of the clip you saw where Impact gets the triple man route into Pop Blossom. The second game, they weren't down as much in that one, but it was kind of back and forth and sloppier. Third game, they got beaten pretty hard. And the fourth game, they steamrolled. I just, top to bottom, TL played so well.
I even put TL looked competent. I wrote this after I saw all the matches, so I had to make sure something like you guys knew that they looked competent.
So I want to start with IG though.
Yeah.
IG, as I said, defending world champions, 9-1 in the group stage. What happened?
If I know, I think TL just they played their team fights better, and they didn't make mistakes. That's what won them the games, I think.
I feel like we talked about it a little bit, how that IG just... Shit, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say stuff.
The matchup?
It's
Because
already-
I did say, and
one-fourth
you agreed with me, that I think TL, they're the cleanest team at the tournament.
Oh,
and they
it's
matched
the
up.
early pressure thing.
Okay.
So Team Liquid's really good at like withstanding the early pressure and then waiting for the other team to mess up at like 20 minutes or so.
Right.
They kind of like did not that style, and they kind of played like a little bit more aggressive early game.
Smithy was
And
on the map doing
sorry, I was
shit.
like, I have a thought in here somewhere. Let me try to rattle it out real quick.
You are right.
But yeah, Team Liquid, they kind of came out and they played in a way that we don't usually see them play in NA. And it's kind of like a little bit more of an aggressive early game. They were kind of all over the map when they needed to be. And they looked really good that day.
Yeah, I mean, Smithy's Jarvan and his Game 4 Skarner pulling out that pocket pick Skarner,
Yes.
which I completely forgot about, even though they played it so heavily to beat TSM in that reverse sweep. I think they might have played it all 3 games that they won.
I'm pretty sure.
Like, that was such a great pocket pick for them. But yeah, it's just, it was so
They were fun.
good.
I think that was probably the best series to watch. Even over G2 SKT, even though that series went 5 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm more invested in a TL, but
Right.
the G2 had like those, again, we talked about it, the 30-minute break in between in game 2 and another one in game 3. So
Yeah.
it was a struggle to watch as the casters basically just repeated the same thing they said 20 times in a row because they had nothing else to do
Right.
while they had to wait for that.
I feel bad for them
So,
when those happen.
Yes. So I liked this series better because TL was on the back foot both games, the first 2 games, and they managed to swing it back in their favor.
Right.
The third was just an absolute
And it's an
excess.
unexpected upset, too. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
G2 SKT, I think most people saw that as being a 5-game series. Maybe you predicted SKT. Some people, I think fewer people, but some people thought G2 would take it. But, I mean, TLIG, the reason there's a 40 sitting there is because people didn't think this would happen, and rightfully so.
Well, it seems like it was something that IG and SKT both did. They both underestimated the players they were playing against.
Yeah.
Like they picked Team Liquid because they thought it was going to be an easy wham bam, thank you man, let's go to the finals. And I feel like SKT thought the exact same thing.
I don't think so, because SKT was they went 0-2 against G2 in the group stage.
Okay, maybe not,
I think
but okay.
IG
So
counted on
Invictus,
SKT losing to G2,
Invictus for
hopefully.
sure.
Yes.
Like Invictus for sure. They definitely seemed like they weren't treating them with respect for some of these matches, and they just kind of got trounced really badly.
Yeah, there was a rumor. I have no idea how substantial this or how substantiated the claim is, but that IG spent the entire day before just playing ARAMs instead of like normal scrimming.
Oh, if they did,
Like-
that's a mistake.
Oh,
Huge
yeah.
mistake.
But no, I think like a lot of things fell into place. As you said, TL is really good about like sitting on the back foot and like waiting for you to make mistakes. IG has such a problem with being so much better than their opponent, where they continually take fights that they probably shouldn't. Like, oh, somebody died, let's keep fighting anyway. And usually they're just so much better that they win those. But against a team who's as clean as TL, that's not necessarily going to be the case. And we saw that with, like, the Game 1 comeback, where, like, they just kind of, like, piddled around for way too long, and Impact got the exact right route. Like, if he doesn't get that 3-man route at the base, they lose that game.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain of it.
100%.
Game 2, like, it went back and forth because of some overchases. The reason Game 4 was such a blowout was because of overchases. But also, as you said, we saw Xmithy and the team in general play more aggressive early. Because as much as Rookie dominated Game 3 on that LeBlanc, his LeBlanc got disgusting.
Absolutely sick.
And that's why they didn't let him have it the other times. Like, it was second round ban sometimes. But what we saw from TL the rest of the time was get double lift and Core JJ ahead early, and then go heavy into Jensen as well. Because, honestly, Jensen outplayed Rookie every game except number 3. His Lux just outplayed. It was a great pick into Zoe. I loved seeing it. I thank Froggen for that, back from NA playoffs, because there was talk during scrims for playoffs that Froggen was just playing all this absurd shit. He was playing Lux and Vigar and Vel'Koz, and everybody just couldn't deal with it. And they're like, well, I guess I have to learn how to do this now. Yeah. And it came in handy here, I guess. But yeah, like, the Game 2 Orianna was really good out of Jensen. Game 1, I can't remember what he was on off the top of my head, but, like, they all played... Oh, Silas, I think.
Yeah.
And, like, he outdid Rookie in most of those games. Impact... Like, the Shy did not be... He was not the Shy in any of those games. Even Game 3, he was not... Like, you weren't afraid of him. Impact was just like, I can deal.
Yeah.
Like,
let me sustain up here, and you focus on... And Xmithy focus on the other lines. When you mentioned the Orianna on Jensen, his shockwave on the Realm Warp...
Yeah,
nice.
that too!
That was so good, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was so great. Like, they Realm Warp in, and there's, like, immediately a Lee Sin ult kick onto...
That's a different play.
Onto Silas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about, like, in the mid lane.
That one too.
It was just a gank early on.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, he was about to get away, and the
shockwave.
The shockwave cuts it off, so he has nowhere to stand in the Realm Warp that he can get to, and that hits him, which means Xmithy doesn't have to flash to get the Rek'Sai pop-up. Like...
Yeah.
They were just on it, and they were more aggressive than IG early, and then they fell back to their more safe playstyle, which I think worked really well, and I'm excited to see how they do in NA if they can carry on that style.
Oh, heck yeah. I hope this loss doesn't impact them in any way.
Yeah, so I mean...
It shouldn't, because they're just going to go back to playing NA, and I think they're probably the best NA team, with Cloud9 really close, and TSM, obviously.
Yeah, those three
They're
are
up there.
so good.
But, yeah, I don't want to... I don't know what happened in the 2 days, like, after... Because they had the break on that day where SKT played G2, and then they had their finals. I don't know what happened to TL, but something happened to them mentally.
Yeah, well, let's...
They choked hard.
Any
We'll
last
get there,
thoughts
we'll get
on IG before we move on from them as well? I think they're going to have to do a little bit of a mental reset and reevaluate how they play mid-game team fights, personally.
Well, they can play some more ARAMs.
Yeah.
Well, so I feel like a lot of they set up for like those 3-man ganks in the mid lane so often, and Jensen just wasn't letting them have it.
Yeah.
Like, he got caught out a few times, but more often than not, they had 3 resources sitting in the mid lane.
Yeah, they'd sit jungle and support.
And and then they would sit there, and then Jensen would be like, he'd realize what was going on, and he'd back off, or they would come in and fail, and Jensen got away.
Yeah.
I mean, it did work a few times, but I feel like they over-dedicated resources against Jensen, and it allowed Peter in the bottom lane to get ahead, and it allowed Impact up top to not have to worry about the enemy jungler.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Invictus, they made a handful of mistakes. I mean, when you're watching it play out, you're like, oh, this is going to be really good. This is going to be really good. And then, like, nothing happened. You're like, oh, IG just fucked themselves a little bit here. Like, this was, like, at least 30 seconds worth of game time where they're just not doing anything on the map.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there that I think TL and their coaching staff studied really hard and decided that if Balan's not on screen, Jensen needs to back the hell up just a bit. And if we also don't see Ning, not Null, Ning, you need to back up even more. Because, yeah, every time one of them was nearby, he wasn't up to half.
Yeah.
And every time both of them were nearby, he was like where, so he could see to the sides, you can't get ganked from behind yourself on the sides there. Like he was.
Not usually.
Yeah, well, like, no, I'm saying he was back so he could see and doesn't get ganked. Because, like, if you're up past the starts of those side walls, and, like, where the brushes are and everything, like, you can't see, and then all of a sudden they come around the corner.
Yeah, Jensen played that so well.
Yeah, he was, like, right at edge of turret zone. And, yeah, I think it was based around, okay, if Baolan's not on screen, you step back a little bit. If we also don't know where Ning is, you step back that extra set. And he was doing it over and over, and they would burn resources, and if they got the kill, they also like gave up one in the counter kill. Mm-hmm. And we also saw Core JJ roam a lot to match Baolan.
I did like that from Core JJ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one where he came up, like they traded kill for kill basically, and IG hadn't lost a member yet, but Core JJ comes up from the behind on Alistar and ults in, and I pretty much saves Xmithy, but also gets the kill on one of them. So he makes it an even trade. Just by like completing that roam up. He did that a lot in the IG game. He could not do it in the G2 game.
I mean, all credit to TL. They made a international final, and especially as a team that was not expected to... They were not expected to beat G2, SKT, or IG, and they took down IG of all teams. I mean...
It's impressive.
TL, like a great tournament to TL, regardless of what happened in the final. Kudos to them, seriously. Like they should take what they learned from this tournament, both their successes against IG and their failures elsewhere, like in the group stage and not, and move forward in NA. And I think it's important to remember, and especially we'll get to it here with the next match as well. We've been talking for years about the gap. Is the gap closing? Blah blah blah. Korea finally looked bad at last Worlds, and China won. It's like, all right, well, that gap's finally gone, even though China had been close several times. And EU was in the final too, and it's like, okay, well, maybe it is close. I think this tournament, MSI, there's not a gap anymore. Just suck less, and any region can win it. Well, any of the major four.
I feel like the balancing that they've done around like turret plating, the scuttle changes, I feel like a lot of that's given some teams like a little bit better of an edge. Because like some of those teams, they would exploit the early scuttle, they would send resources to go help gank the jungler, and if you can get the enemy jungler behind, like that helps. Like I feel like all the changes that they're making, it
rewards aggression rather than just sitting back and waiting for objectives.
Yeah. So I feel like that probably helps a little bit. I'm not saying that's the only factor, but I feel like that kind of plays in a little bit. Because, like, every patch we've seen something new. Like I said, the turret plating, scuttle changes. What else have they changed recently?
Scuttle in general now.
I mean, there's bounty changes.
Oh, yeah, the bounty. Like, I feel like a lot of that stuff, it can really swing the game.
The pop-ups and the Scryer's Bloom, too.
Yeah, that was added already last season. But, yeah, I mean, like, they've slowly been making changes that
I remember
make early game more important. And aggression and fighting more important.
Yep. So Alan said a little bit ago that he thinks that if TL can bring what they learned here back to NA, they're going to be kind of leaps and bounds ahead of TSM and Cloud9.
Well, and I think what they learned here, especially in the IG matchup, was what we had talked about during the playoffs. What they lacked and TSM had a little bit of, and Cloud9 has plenty of. Now, if Cloud9 can solidify their mid and late game more like TL and a little bit TSM, then they'll rise up too. If TSM can get a little bit better at both of those things, they'll rise. Like, I think all three of these teams will feed off of each other in a great way. And if teams like FlyQuest can, like, kind of get in on that as well and come along, like, we're going to send 3 really good representatives to Worlds, I feel like.
That's exciting.
Like, in the past, it's always like, okay, 1, maybe 2, like, 100 Thieves, no. They fucking pissed their team away at the end of last season, so we knew we were sending 2 representatives. We're sending Cloud9 and TL, and we didn't know how TL was going to do. Cloud9, you always just assume they're going to do all right, because they do. And, like, I think this time, like, if we were heading to Worlds right now and it was TSM, Cloud9, TL, like, I still think TL would probably do the best of the 3, but I think all 3 of those teams have a really good shot at making it out of it a group, no matter what that group is. Even if it was SKT and IG, like TL just showed, maybe they make it out of that group.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So before we close the book on TL, do you have
or
anything?
on IG anyway. because
Just
we
on
got to.
IG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Because
never
we'll
mind.
come back to a little more TL, but yeah.
Oh, so okay, then to wrap back around for a second about
Yes.
back in NA. Do you think TL is going to try to pull an early game going forward a little bit more? Or do you think they're going to keep playing the wait till 20 minutes and then crush you?
I mean, that's always going to be the core of their team. Like, Impact is generally not an early game laner. Jensen, he requires some resources, but every now and then he does get really going. And Core JJ and Doublelift are so good at just beating you in lane phase that 15, 20 minutes is always going to be great for them. I do think they will, though, lean a little more into going, all right, let's get Xmithy
what I
aggressive
was gonna
junglers
say.
rather than just, I mean, Sejuani and stuff all the time. Be like, yo, let's Jarvan, Rek'Sai, Skarner all the fucking time. Let's go. And I think they will.
I'm really hoping that we see some of these fun picks that we've been seeing at MSI back into like the regular season. Like the Lee Sin, the Rek'Sai, we saw Syndra, bot lane too.
Syndra, that's
Orianna made a comeback. Like, I mean, there's just so many champions that I feel like I haven't
Orianna
seen.
will always be there for Jensen.
Yeah.
As will Syndra.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of really cool champions that like they kind of fell off a little bit, and now they're like kind of back with a vengeance. Skarner being one of them.
Skarner's just crazy good.
Yeah, I mean,
Ridiculous.
Xmithy, he's very good at him. The team plays really well around it. And what they did, especially to IG there, is they got ahead early and put IG in a no-win situation. You either spend 1,300 gold to get a QSS so you don't get pulled, and then you do no damage and have no defenses besides a little bit of MR, or you build so that you can be effective in combat and hope to God you're the person who isn't grabbed, and so you die before you do anything with those stats. Like, they were in a no-win situation the minute they fell as far behind as they did, as early as they did. Which is why Skarner can be such a punishment. Especially because he's not like Malzahar, where it's super obvious that he's coming for you and all that stuff. Like, Skarner just fucking with Predator, he just pops
Yes.
out of a
He's
fucking bush
crazy
and just
fast.
runs you the fuck down.
I used to always get like my heart would like beat real quick when I heard that Predator noise when I was playing mid. I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
don't know how you
I
play
just-
mid.
I'm
Mid's
happy-
Scary. I said I don't know how you play mid. Mid's the scariest. Like
Yeah.
there's ganking opportunities from every direction.
And I've got to agree, I mean, the Shy rookie, when they're playing their best, they're better than what we saw out of Jensen and Impact. Or most of the time, I mean, we've seen some crazy games from both those guys as well. But I think the average top of the Shy and rookie's better. We just didn't see it in this series. And also, those guys are really young, like you said. They're going to grow. They're going to keep getting better. I mean, like, Doublelift's 25. He's towards the end of his career, I'm
Yeah,
sure. Although he's still...
closer to the end of his bell curve. He's gonna probably.
He has somehow continued to get better when he should have started getting worse so much longer ago.
I don't think
I
age
feel like
makes you worse.
He's got the most fucked
Like,
up
I
bell
really
curve.
don't.
Then
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the amount of time you've put in actually starts to be a bit of a hindrance in some ways because kids who only know the game as it exists now
Yeah.
have though they don't have those internalized biases. They don't have those bad habits.
I can
things
see
like
that.
that.
I can definitely see that.
But I mean, the great ones continue to be good. And I think Doublelift's established himself as one of the great ones at this point. I mean, he's not Faker. He's not in that level. Like Faker's alone currently. But somebody like the rookie, rookie and the Shy, they can definitely become Fakers. Like they've got the time, they have the skills.
Freaking and caps, in my opinion. But we'll get to that. 'cause
Yeah,
there
well,
was a
let's-
specific play. I
Let's
Maybe
move
Faker.
into
Maybe
SKT
Faker, yeah,
and
yeah.
G2.
Yeah.
And the game went, or that series went 5. It was very back and forth.
It was decisive almost every single game, except for maybe the last one, which was a
the last
battle
one
to
was
fucking
just
win.
a shit show of craziness.
I found it interesting that I don't think either of those teams played as well in this series as we saw them play in the group stage at times.
I'd agree with that.
Like, I don't think either of these teams were on the top of their game, and not because they were being forced into errors. They were making unforced errors, and the other team was just, like, capitalizing on enough that they would be decisive in the win.
Yeah.
And then the next, we got the whole meme of you get one game of claps, and then one game of craps, and then another game of and he did. Like, clap, we saw Caps be really good 3 games and really trash 2 games, basically. And Perks was okay. Like, he had some really good stuff, but, like, I don't feel like he straight up owned much in those games.
It was Wonders Pike that did that in the last game.
I said it last week. And I think Alan was like, ooh, that's a pretty out there statement or something, you know. I think Wonder's the best top in the world right now. I absolutely think him and The Shy are the best ones, and I think Wonder's a bit better. And dude, when The Shy pulls out Pike and carries multiple games on it, because he's done it, 3 times now? Because he did it in the group stage, he did it against SKT, and he pulled it out against TL as well. Like, the dude is disgusting. And then he has some, like, bullshit pocket pick in the back. Like, Wonder's fantastic, and I don't think he gets enough recognition because he has Caps and Perks on his team. But he wins his lane without them doing well. Without Yankos being up all the time. He just wins, and it's great. I love watching Wonder play.
I liked watching Captain Perk play.
Oh,
I really did. It was fun.
Yeah.
And Yanko's definitely, like, again, it's like similar to X Smithy. He helps out mid and bot generally more often than Impact. And Wonder gets the same treatment from his jungler Yankos. Like, you just sustain, do okay, you're good enough up there. I'm going to go repeatedly gank these lanes and get them ahead, and then we're going to win on all 3 lanes. Because you're good enough to win your own. Both. We need to give some Caps some love, and oh my god, as soon as, like, he gives them even a little bit of an inch, they take a mile off of it. They really do. It was fun to watch those particular people play, especially since I don't know much about them, and I've seen them play, but Perks wasn't even on G2, I think, when I knew of him, when he won Worlds.
Who? Sorry?
Perks, right? Or was he...
Perks was on G2 last year as the mid laner when they lost to IG in the semifinal.
But before that, the year before that, because they made the Rise video that year, so it was the...
Oh, I mean, they had won some matches, was all.
Gotcha.
I mean, like, I think they lost in the quarters.
Maybe he was one of the characters that the main dude went against, because I don't know who the main
no,
guy
he
is.
was.
That's
He
what
was.
it
He was
yeah.
the Kazakhs in the field.
Thank you. Okay.
That was
tripping me out.
Or wait, no.
He had to be.
He was against the Kazakhs. The main character was Kazakhs. He was Yasuo. You're correct. That wasn't a matchup that happened in real life, but Perks is known for his Yasuo pocket
Is he?
pick.
See, I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. We hadn't seen any Yasuo.
Yeah, he played it in EU early in the season, once or twice down in bot lane. But yeah, I mean, it was more of a mid pick at the time.
Well, he makes a great freaking ADC, so good job to him.
Yeah, and I think you saw what was said in the chat. Curious to see if more mid laners are going to start moving into the ADC role like Perks has to, really push bot laners to be better. Because Perks has had some rough times this year, but he looked great when the rubber met the road here in the final, which we'll get to. He looked very good.
I feel like just like the way the meta has kind of changed over like the last couple of years, it kind of makes a lot of sense that a mid laner would come down. Like we've been seeing kind of a resurgence, or like we've been seeing a handful of like mage bot lanes. We saw it in a final.
Yeah, I'm so glad we are too, because marksman plus support down bot lane is so stale. Like, to see there be some sort of, like, change-ups down there other than, do you have a tanky support or sustain support? Like, it's great to see something fucking else.
I'd never seen a Syndra ADC, APC, I guess.
Yeah, so maybe unpopular opinion, but I kind of thought that the 5 games between SKT and G2 were some of the most boring
I'm like...
almost
why, but it was just...
like until like the groups like the end, like the very play-in groups happened.
Right.
Like these were just like okay, because I agree, they all kind of looked like crap. It was like, okay, G2's crushing here, but they're not doing anything fun. Like they're not doing anything good.
It's just SKT's like, tripping up.
Exactly.
And then the other thing happened.
Yeah, and then I was just like, okay, these matches were okay.
Yeah.
Like there's not like anything super memorable in almost any 5 of the matches that I'm like, this is like a good talking point.
Any of them.
Anything that's not the 40.
No, like, yeah, there wasn't, like you said, the only talking points really for me were the claps, craps, cycle happening.
Yeah.
And then on the other one being that Null, I feel like he didn't show up.
Ning.
No,
Clid.
Null on SKT.
Oh.
Or sorry, Clid. God fucking damn it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clid did look really good when he showed up.
He
you're
looked
right.
so good all tournament. And then it comes down to this best of 5, and he's like kind of there, Like, but once again, like, the team won not because Clid was just, like, going the fuck off, but because G2 was tripping over themselves, and he would take advantage of it.
Like, I feel like they were, like, forcing 5-man fights, like, way more than they needed to.
Yeah,
It was just like, okay, here's a 5-man fight, cool. Oh, wait, here's another one 30 seconds later. Oh, and another one 24 seconds later. It's like, we don't need all of this. Like, this, like, I mean, you guys all kind of look like midgets right now, slapping each other.
Right. Yeah, prior to that series, I would have said that Clid was the best jungler of the entire tournament. And then that happened, I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up at this point who was the best.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's really hard to say that he didn't do well over the entire tournament because he had one bad set, but I kind of feel like he was like phoning it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe phoning it in is like a little bit too nice. Maybe he was like snail mailing it in. I don't know. Like it didn't look great.
His decline from group stage to that best of 5 was, I think, about equal to Xmithy's rise from group stage to their best of 5 against IG.
Yeah. Sorry, when
Like-
you said rise, I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, like that he did, like, Xmithy did an equal amount better, and we all think he did really well in the 3 games they won, as Clid did that much worse than all the group stage where he was just, like, a terror.
I wanna call out Sean for a second. He said that
Oh,
the best thing about, that's the best League of Legends description ever, midgets slapping each other. Apparently we have a new viewer because we have a segment during our normal show, Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling Matches.
yeah, every week in the LCS
can't
we
wait
call
to
out
get
what
back
we
to
think
those.
is going to be the most garbage match, and we call it our Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling Match of the Week.
Yeah,
I
so
can't wait to get back
sadly
to
I can't say that I coined that on the fly or anything. That's just a normal thing that
It's a
happens.
normal thing that
I
happens.
think I
Bubble
coined
wrap
it
midget
like our
wrestling matches are real?
first series even.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it was like back in Zane days.
Yeah, it might have been that first like Worlds when we started League of Loggers, but yeah. Oh man. So other thoughts about SKT versus G2 or just SKT in general since their tournament was done there as well? I mean, because I think we all agree, not a great showing from either. The better team.
I'm glad
won
that
there.
because sometimes I
think
have these
that's
outrageous
true.
opinions, and I feel like I'm gonna be like chastised for having that like thought. I'm glad that you guys kind of agree on
No,
that.
like it wasn't the best series I've seen out of either of these teams. And I really do think that the games that they played in group stage, both these teams look better in most of those games than they did in this series, and that's what was so weird to me. Like obviously IG looked worse against TL in that series, except for Game 3, and TL looked the best they had all tournament. Other than like the game they beat G2 to get into the playoff portion, but yeah, I think SKT, however, their tournament, they've shown they've returned to form. That Korea won't suck at Worlds again this year, especially because SKT was actually not favored to get to this tournament.
We've got a minute before
Really?
Worlds happen.
Yeah,
Like
Griffin was the favorite
Griffin
team
was,
to
like,
make
in
it
the
in.
lead,
Like
right?
yeah, SKT made a late run to get in, basically.
Okay.
So I honestly I think like what I said with the last one, like the gap is closed. Worlds should be really good this year. But from the 4 major regions, like I'm maybe a little afraid about EU right now because I don't feel like any of the other teams. Like Fnatic will get better, so I think they'll contest. But I don't think Origin, like even though I think they beat Fnatic to get to the final, I don't remember. But like I don't think the top 3 from Europe are as good as the top 3 from the other 3 regions, including NA. But I think we're gonna have a really good Worlds based on what we saw here and what we've seen in the regions, and like how a lot of these teams had like really close finals and playoffs. But yeah, SKT. I mean, it's good to see Faker playing really well again. I mean. It's always nice to see somebody who's one of the best playing the best, and I want to see that team develop more with Clid.
I was just gonna say Clid. I want to see more of him, and like Teddy's good too. Teddy has his moments.
Yeah.
He can also pull moments where he gets called out and dies or something.
Yeah,
Just, like,
teleports in onto tier 1 mid lane when it's going down, and the team's backing off, and
TSM.
then G2's like, you know what I'm not gonna do? Take this turret down so that you show up and you die.
Yes.
And then I'll take the turret.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Like when I've played top lane, like I've made a questionable TP in, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And then I usually pay for it.
That's real technical by them to not like kill the turret out, right?
Yeah, because like I mean,
it was real
initial
smart.
thought for me is like, okay, they're just gonna take the turret because I fucked up.
Yeah, you
And-
kill the turret to like destroy, like waste their TP most of the time, but no, like
Yeah.
Next
But if the
level.
turret's
Yeah,
like on
that
a
was
sliver
pretty-
and you got
pretty
3 people
solid.
there, then just wait it out.
Right, yeah,
Get a
usually the
kill,
case
too.
is like some of the other team is there too, but like that the team had retreated, and so like Teddy showed up like, guys,
Poor Teddy.
hey.
Yeah, there was a lot of sloppy plays in that set, just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from that then. We got to the final, the all-Western final. The reason there's a 40 on the table and another one in the cooler.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through.
Yeah,
two
you're not
of
going to make it
them.
through 2 tonight, no. But so anyway,
I'll save
Sadly.
it as for maybe the next showing as well.
there you go.
I'm happy
SKT,
about that.
or I'm sorry, G2 versus TL. And, you know, there's no two ways about this. G2 demolished TL. It is the fastest best of 5 international ever.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Which,
Fucking ridiculous.
to be fair, Fnatic going down to IG held that record previously.
Really?
Yeah, just last World's
Because
final.
I knew it was 3-0.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like they got smashed, and I give all the credit in that. Like, I don't think TL played as well as they did against IG, but I give all the credit to G2, especially in their game plan. Jankos went bot early, he went bot often, and Caps roamed here and there. Like, and that's it. They put Double Lift so far behind in that lane early. He would be down. He'd have like 27 CS to like 59. And Perks would also have like 2 assists or a kill and an assist. It's like, well, you're done. It's over. You can't do shit now.
And I want to add on to this specifically because they played so terribly bot lane. Double Lift and Core JJ were pushed up many times with no wards anywhere that they should have had them. Face-checking bushes left and right. In the very first game, before minions even hit the bottom wave, Core JJ pulls a freaking Afro Moon in a bush in the river just sitting around and forces a flash on him.
Yeah.
Yep, I saw that. That was-
Ridiculous. They played absolutely horrible. And I need to say it. I don't like being this harsh on TL, but
Especially Core JJ.
that's how they
You love him.
especially Core JJ. He dropped the ball so hard here, and I know that G2 played wonderfully, and it was Jankos ganking that bot lane early on and often. Cycle right back up to freaking Caps and Jensen, gank there too, come back. He like barely got in jungle camps because he was farming off the people.
Right.
I think that they
TL
were like
did that.
riding some sort of like testosterone high
They had
after
to
like
have been.
crushing IG the day before. That they like, I feel like they came in and they very much underestimated G2.
Definitely.
I don't know if they I mean, personally, I don't know that they underestimated them. I can see that viewpoint, but I think it was great game planning from G2. Not as good from
I'm not
TL.
trying to discount G2
Yeah,
at
like,
all.
I
Like
just-
G2 played
did
really
right.
well. And
But-
like
but
I mean,
I think,
and,
like,
and
TL's
TL won 2 games, so like it went to or
No,
it
they
went
won
to,
0 games.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they went.
Yeah, it was
against G2
0-3
anyways, yeah.
against G2.
Never mind
And it
then.
wasn't even close. Like,
They were
G2,
not.
their
Forgot
game
how many
plan
matches
was
I watched
perfect.
today.
And that's the other thing. Every lane for G2 played their best.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. Like,
Wonder
up to that
Swain.
point in the tournament, had G2 ever done that where every lane played their best? Probably like what, 2 games maybe out of the whole 10-game group stage for them, where every lane played well. And even in the SKT series, they didn't all play well every game. Like, even the ones they won, they didn't all play well most of the time. But they get into this series, and Wonder's beating Impact, no help. He's just like, I fucking got this. Jankos is outplaying Xmithy all over the map.
Yeah.
He's getting ganks in before the counter gank can be in place. The warding wasn't as good. Caps went claps all over Jensen's fucking face.
Sorry. So
Yeah.
my thought that I was going to have was actually for Game 5 against SKT.
Oh.
Like, I forgot to pull up the fact that they played the double mage, like they played double
Yes.
mid laners in the bot. Well, mid laner
They played
mid.
a mage and bot
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
as mid. Yeah.
And in the kind of like, they rolled the dice on that in Game 5.
Oh yeah.
We skipped over that for a second.
But yeah, I mean, like,
Sorry. Back to
it's
back to
alright.
Kurtis.
But G2, like, claps went hard on Jensen. Was Jankos, everything, and then bot lane, like, I don't know that without that good game plan, Perks and Mickey X take down Core JJ and Double Lift the way they did, especially 3 games in a row. But the game plan ensured it.
Yeah.
Because at no point did Double Lift in 3 games play League of Legends.
No. In the second game, because again, what I was talking about earlier, DL and Core JJ are dumbasses. Sorry, I actually wrote that. But they press them under their turret, get freaking hooked. They come back to their turret and get hooked again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's the kind of shit they were
DL,
doing to
both of them.
IG, where
Maybe Tom.
they had killed Balon on the Kench, I believe. He's gone. Ning comes in to like try and get the gank and even up the lane, and they kill him too. What? No. I was
Oh,
like
you're
back in
talking
IG.
about- Oh, okay,
Because
gotcha.
they killed Balon, he was gone. Ning came in to try and help the lane, and then he died too. Like that's
Yeah.
the kind of shit TL had just done to IG the day before. And then the next day against G2, they just like walk in there and they're like, oh shit, I died. Let's come back and die again.
It's gotta be because you both said it, but it was the day before. Like, so they
it
had
was
that
back
day?
to back. But the same way, or no, I'm sorry, actually, they had a day off.
that's what I'm saying. So if they
Oh,
rode
I
that
was wrong.
testosterone
I'm
high,
sorry.
maybe it just wiped them. Like they were so happy on Saturday that they just
While
got
they were-
drained.
yeah.
Or they played ARAMs on Saturday. It was one like maybe
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
had to be something. They
I
had a day
mean-
off to frickin' think about this. And
when it comes down to it, G2 and TL both played one really good series and one not so good series.
Mm-hmm.
The problem for TL is when they played a not good series, it was against the team doing the really good series.
Mm-hmm.
And when G2 played their not so good series, they were playing against another team who had a not so good series.
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah, I think like if G2 plays the way they did against TL against that same SKT, 3-1, 3-2, easy. If TL plays the way they did against G2 against IG, they probably lose in 5. Like if not in 4 or 3. Like it just they hit each other at the wrong matchup for TL's purposes and the perfect matchup for G2's. But all credit to G2 from my standpoint, they were so much better. They were the team who will deserve to win that tournament when it comes down to it.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
I agree,
So
yeah.
on that day, G2 showed up to play chess, and Team Liquid came to finger paint. And
checker.
No, it wasn't checker. It was 4 square at best.
no, it was they
Four
were
square is hard.
they were trying to finger paint their names is what they were doing. Like cuz it looked bad.
It was bad.
I'm
It
a
was
tiger.
And it made and they missed
Just
they
like, that's all
missed
you do
the
is
canvas more often than not.
Yeah.
Like and it really sucks that that's kind of how they ended things on like kind of a womp womp.
Yeah.
Where's
Like,
the,
I mean, sad trombones, you have that queued up. Can we hit that?
And I don't. But I think G2 is
let's
going to go
talk
back
about
to
it.
Europe, and it is on the rest of the LEC to up their game, because G2 was not challenged in the playoffs of LEC. They walked through it undefeated, I
Did they?
believe.
wow.
They 6-0'd
Congratulations,
either Fnatic or Origin, whoever they faced in the final, because they had that different format where 1 and 2 played, and then the loser of that, which wasn't G2, faced the winner of 3-4 or whatever was left, and then that one went back and faced G2 again. And they 3-0'd that team twice in a row. Like, they were not challenged in the LEC playoffs. Okay, it was Fnatic.
Wow. They 3-0'd Fnatic?
Twice in a row. Yeah.
Good for them. Shit.
But, I mean, when it comes down to it, like, it is up to the rest of Europe to up their game. Because G2's obviously, I mean, like, oh, you can be like, oh, I don't feel bad about it because they won MSI. No, like, this is your fucking region. Show the fuck up. Because if Origin, Fnatic, G2 show up to Worlds, and we get, SKT, Griffin, and I can't remember who else was the really good one right now. It's
Jin
not...
Air. Just kidding. I'm sorry. Just kidding.
It's not KT. I don't remember who it is off the top of my head. I think it was one of the new teams. If we get IG, JDG, and RNG, I think, was the other
Well,
top
I forget
3. And we get TL, TSM, Cloud9.
That's
Out
gonna
of
be so
those
much
9
fun.
teams, out of those 12 teams, the worst 2 are probably Fnatic and Origin.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't think those 2 teams stack up currently. They didn't get beat down by G2 as hard as they did just because G2 was the best team at MSI. It's because they are sizably worse than the other 3 teams that we also saw. And those teams were all challenged in their fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and in the regular season of their league. So I want to see Europe step the fuck up and learn from G2. I think Fnatic will improve because they had a rookie mid laner, all that. I don't know about the rest of the LEC.
I don't follow it all that
Yeah,
closely,
yeah.
so it's
I
really
do
hard.
wanna-
Like I know G2 and I
Right.
know Fnatic. Like,
Yeah, and
cause
G2
'cause
is
we
a
got
super
Reckless,
team, but so's TL.
Yeah.
Whatever Reckless's tattoos on.
Yeah, I think it says Reckless on this arm,
Oh,
and
it's
that's like
this
a
arm.
family name on that arm
Ah,
or
okay.
something.
And I want to see more Feng Fu Buffalo because I think
Oh, I love Feng Fu.
they were fun to watch.
I think
They
Feng Fu
really
will be
were.
back. I don't know about Fenerbahce because they lost 2 players. I would have liked to
probably
see
be a
them back.
restructuring split
Yeah.
for them.
Flash Wolves, they'll be back. I honestly,
That was really interesting.
I would like to see if at Worlds Fongvu can actually be over Flash Wolves. I would like to. Well, how did they end up at the end of the group stage? Do you remember? I think
I
Flash
don't,
Wolves
but
had like
I'm at the
3
page.
wins and Fongvu had 2, something like that.
Standing.
Because Fongvu beat G2 and I don't think they beat anybody
Yeah,
else.
Fongvu went 2-8.
But Fongvu
Flash Wolf
made
had
some of their
3-7.
Yeah.
matches, like, they made them work for it. They like
Yeah.
put in the effort.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just Flash Wolves did beat Fongvu head to head twice, but
And then Flash Wolves beat TL too, right?
I
Something like
I don't know. Splice could make a run back up, Jeff, and Vitality as well. I think Vitality's more likely because they were that number 4 team. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we'll see. I think there can definitely be improvement out of Europe, but I just think as it currently stands. I mean, we'll see in the there will be some improvement between now and then, hopefully. But we'll see after week 3 of LCS here. Well, I'm sure after LEC they'll do it after their week 3 because they start I think a week after us. Anyway, we'll see Rift rivals. We're gonna see.
What does that mean? What does that
top 3 from it's multiple regions play each other.
We only talk about LEC.
Yeah.
LSC.
LEC versus LCS.
Yeah, those words, letters.
So it's NA versus EU.
I need
There's
more
also
of this.
there's also the LMS. China and Korea play like a 3-way
Yeah.
one. Brazil and Turkey play each other. There's all this going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so we will see NA top 3 versus EU top 3 from last split. So we're gonna see TL,
Nice.
TSM, Cloud9
Cool.
play G2, Fnatic, and Origin in a weekend series thing.
Yeah.
And
Does it mean anything?
there's a trophy and it's bragging rights is
Okay. All right.
EU won last year. We need the.
NA dominated the first year, EU dominated last year, and yeah. Well, although last year also 100 Thieves was before they were blowing up their roster, but they didn't even send 2 of their or they didn't play 2 of their starters because they didn't play Someday or did they still had Meteos at the time, right?
I don't
Because
recall.
they played Levi, who's an import. And because of that, they had to not play a different import. But instead of not playing Ryu, they played somebody instead of fucking Someday in the top, and it was
100
terrible.
Thieves. They've just done nothing but make terrible life choices forever. Like, I'm surprised that they're still a brand, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, of the brands that are potentially going away, Clutch and who was the other one? FlyQuest? Optic.
Yeah.
Like, 100 Thieves needs to be on that list of
I hated the name the moment I heard it. Like, it's
What,
so fucking
100 Thieves?
edgelord. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what is it a reference to something?
No, it was started by Nadeshot, who's a former Call of Duty pro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. You say it bad, but I like Call of Duty. So I'm not
No, I'm just saying, like, it's so obvious that it'd be
So
edgelord as shit.
disdainful.
It's started by a first-person shooter player who was called Nadeshot,
Yeah.
and it's super fucking edgelord. Like,
We're only
if
gonna
the
make
guy
100
was a League of Legends player, he would only play Yasuo, and it would be the demon skin. Okay, like
He probably does only play
probably
Yasuo.
I don't know,
that's funny. Okay.
but yeah, when
right.
it comes down to it, though, I think Rift Rivals be a lot of fun to see. But so, does anybody have parting thoughts on MSI?
I mean, I had a lot written down that I wanted to say more.
Go
of,
for
but
it.
Yeah, say all the things.
Core JJ Tom ultimate to bot with. I think he brings an X-Smithy to behind G2. It's like 3 members.
Yeah,
And
that
DL's
didn't
over here
work.
on the yeah, they turn around and just delete both of them.
Yep.
Just simple things.
That's
like
the kind of
that.
shit. Well, we saw
doing
the
terrible.
IG do the exact
Yeah.
other thing that the one clip I showed where Smithy gets the double then the triple.
Yeah.
You don't see the first kill, which was Tom Kench ulting into the river there by
Yeah.
Baron. Like after they had just lost a fight, they're like, "No,
Oh,
let's keep
yes,
fighting,
yeah.
even though the fight's all the way over." And then it ends up being
Yeah.
an ace.
Yeah.
Like, and then Smithy lives and gets a triple, and
Yeah.
Jensen walks. Like it was just so.
Who was that
gross.
against? That was a.
That was against IG.
IG,
That,
yeah,
that was
that's right.
that game 4.
And I don't like double lift on Varus very much. He misses a lot of ults, and I know you guys both said like the Varus ult is the most missed, I guess, in the league history.
He said
It
that
is
as
one
well.
of the most notoriously missed skill shots.
Well, it's got to be a higher rate for DL because he missed a lot of them.
yeah, it
And
was
I
not a
think
good game.
even like Core JJ had the opportunity to pick Tom at certain points, and he
I think
doesn't.
so. Yeah.
Like he's got a Braum pick when Tom wasn't banned.
His Brahm's
he's
really good
got-
too, but yeah, I would have rather seen him on
Sad
Tom.
face.
A freaking Alistar, and then what was the third one? I can't remember.
I
Sorry.
don't. Another thing that he did terribly on.
Yeah, I think maybe that was the
Galio?
Tom pinch. Yeah, the first game was the Tom, so
Okay, yeah.
he fucking shit the bed.
Well, Galio was on G2, I think, was it game 2 or 3, where he had like a 3-person taunt into like a beautiful ult, and
Yeah.
like there were some really sick plays on G2 side. Like, for as much as I want to say like G2 won because Team Liquid did bad, G2 won because G2 played really well.
Yeah.
And they made Team Liquid look silly.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, TL didn't play their best, but they looked bad because
did
G2
look bad.
made them look bad. You're
Yeah.
totally right.
I think that, I agree, but on some things, like the bot lane being up too far, they
Right.
made themselves look bad because
Yeah, they
they're
did not
fucking
play their
up.
best.
Yes.
Agreed.
So, but otherwise, G2 definitely played well. And when you were telling me, 2 weeks ago when I was last here, that Mickey X was core JJ levels, I was like, no one's core.
So
Mickey X
good.
is better than core JJ, in my opinion, and I hate saying that.
Why?
His
You think when they're both at their peak, he's better? Or
I honestly don't know. I didn't get to see that though.
One of
I
them
didn't
has
get to see that.
a world's ring,
Yeah.
the other one doesn't. So, I mean,
You know what? That doesn't mean shit when you just fucking
Yeah,
make
right?
it. Rakan's flash over the wall from the Raptors into mid lane, and they picked up 4 kills off of that. That entire
his
play.
Rakan was so good in that
His
series.
Rakan was insane.
The
I
fact
feel
that they
like-
gave it to him, what, game 1 and 3?
Game 1 and 3.
Oh.
I feel like once you've peaked in other regions, like you start eyeing NA afterwards,
Yeah.
because it's really easy to come over from overseas with a ring that says you are the best in the world that season, and then you just like make buku bucks for like 3 years until you are terrible,
Right.
aka
sucks.
Huni.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Oh, God.
And he doesn't even have a ring.
No, he has multiple attempts at one.
I think on their peak levels they'd be about the same, but we definitely didn't get to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, no,
So, definitely
yeah,
not
he's
at
so
all.
good. So last thoughts on MSI? I
That's
think
pretty
I think
much
it
it.
was just
Taz
a
got
great
player of the
international
series,
tournament, and I'm hoping
congratulations.
Worlds can like be as close as MSI was.
Well, I hope it's closer.
Well, yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. So let's move on then, and just do a little bit of LCS then. Back to our bread and butter. Season starts the 1st.
Oh, we do know when it starts. I didn't even see
Yep,
that.
they announced it right after the finals. I don't know if they have the schedule up yet, but they did announce it. It starts on the LCS starts on the 1st. Nope, it's not up on
No.
there. But it does start on the 1st, which means our first episode of Vloggers will be on the 3rd,
Okay.
unless we want to do a preview one, but I think we can just handle that right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's knock it out now.
Because we don't know that much. Well,
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we
Do
Do
have
know
like an
the
hour worth of
schedule,
material.
Yeah.
Or do we have? I mean, we can
No.
we can discuss
No,
it a little bit.
it starts on the 1st. That's what we
but
know.
they'll put out the schedule. But
Yes. I think
it
it'll
is,
be out
do
this
we want
weekend.
to do a loggers podcast for that
Yeah.
or not?
Yeah.
I would, but I
Well,
can
we'll,
go either way.
we'll chat about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't think we need a pre-show. I think
No.
we should just.
Okay.
wait till
Yeah,
the
I don't know
first
that we have
weekend.
enough material for it because
Yeah.
we'll just be like, hey, here are the games.
Yeah.
So let's tackle some of that right now then.
Tackle it.
I want to just let's start off. We mentioned 100 Thieves a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Slippy in the chat saying maybe Afro will quit being a pile and start playing like he did last year.
Mm.
What do you think? What are the odds that Afro plays like he did last year instead of how he did last split?
So to make poor bets, my word doesn't count for much these days. I don't know what he's
I don't
going
know.
to
Your
show
word
up.
was you would drink the 40s, and the 40s are here.
Okay, my word is good. My
Your opinions are bad.
yeah,
You know what?
that.
Your
or predictions.
Yeah.
ability to digest 40s is getting lower the older you get, so you can't
That is
be
true.
realistically
I
expected to do
am
that
still in my prime. I think.
All right, so what's your thoughts on Afro Moo? Are we
Uh,
gonna see MVP Afro Moo
No.
or POS Afro Moo?
I would be very surprised if he got his shit together between where we saw him end and
Like a month and a half ago.
yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't think he's gonna care because it's the second half of the
Oh, no,
split.
I meant where we saw him last a month and a half ago to where we see him next or
Right.
the next 2 weeks. I think there's not going to be much change at all.
Yeah. Well, and who did they just?
And they
Snatch
didn't
up.
replace him.
Nope. they
No,
replaced
they,
someone else, though.
replaced Ryu with.
No, the middle lane, the jungle, which was.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, they replaced Anda. Well, yeah, they did with somebody from Misfits.
Something.
It was somebody from the LEC they snagged.
Yeah.
Fuck. Starts with an S, I believe.
I can't
Oh no,
remember.
with Amazing. Thank you, Alan. They replaced Anda with Amazing, and I don't think Anda's the problem in that, but I'm not going to argue that Amazing isn't possibly an upgrade.
I like his name. I
Yeah.
think that's a good
He used to
call.
play for TSM actually for a
So-
while, way back.
I don't really have any opinion on it because I don't know that guy. He's from EU.
Yeah. Yep. EU. He's been in NA before. He played for TSM.
I can't see how it
back
could be any
before
worse.
they got double lift.
Oh, wow.
But yeah. Did they replace who he? I hope so. I think so.
Weren't they just playing?
Or did they grab
Saligo?
one of the Fenerbahce people?
I thought they were just playing.
Oh, that's right. They
Saligo.
had been playing Saligo at the end of the split. Hopefully, they've continued with that shit.
Yeah, and moving Piglet.
Need to find the
That's right.
contracts
Who he
that-
did get dropped. If you go to Leaguepedia, you can see what all the current rosters are.
Am I tripping?
'Cause
Piglet
they-
and Vulcan are on.
Piglet and Vulcan are on Clutch.
That's Clutch. So Clutch has.
because they played
or something. I can't
mid.
remember.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have Saliga.
Mhm.
Or no.
I
They
think-
have Demonte.
Yes.
And they benched Demonte to play
That's right.
midlet. And
Cody.
I
yeah.
still am floored that
Yeah.
the LCS analyst desk seemed kind of okay with that. Like
Yeah.
I was hearing some
Demonte
discussion towards the
is
end of
an
the year.
American hero. He's a hot commodity,
I heard
and they're
them-
like just shitting on him.
I heard them make like the LCS analysts at the end of the split were like saying, Demonte, like, oh, he's like bottom half for sure, bottom like couple. Like, I'm like, no, his team is garbage and he's pretty good. I watched him on Echo Fox when he was good and came out of fucking nowhere, even though Huni was feeding his shit off in the top lane. And I watched him, with Huni still feeding his shit off in the top lane, and Piglet feeding in the bot lane, be the only reasonable player on all of Clutch. Went in Lyra in the jungle, right? It was like Huni, Lyra, Demonte, Piglet, Vulcan.
Yeah.
There was 2 decent players on that team, and it's the support and the mid laner.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, why are you shitting on Demonte?
Alright,
Like,
so apparently
fuck.
the only confirmed roster is 100 Thieves, according to Leaguepedia.
Okay, what is it?
Someday, Amazing, Saligo, Bang, Afro.
Okay, yeah, so it was Saligo,
Yeah, it
you
was
did
Saligo.
remember that correctly.
We've got CLG with Ruin in the top confirmed, and we've got Wadded on FlyQuest as
Wadid.
support.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, they brought Wadid
Yes.
over from EU. That's the one.
Like,
I
there was a
trying to remember.
trade there.
Yeah, they traded a academy player for Wadid from EU. Wadid I like. Wadid's a good player. I think
He's got
he
it
had a
better.
really
Yeah.
down split. Like
I heard that.
he kind of Afro moved this last split,
Well, now he's
but
in
he
NA,
doesn't
so
have
never
the Afro
mind.
move history. So I think he just had a bad split.
Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting that 100 Thieves is the only one with a confirmed roster. I feel like
Yeah,
everyone
well,
else
and
should.
that's the thing. It's confirmed roster, so you could assume what they had last
They
split.
just
other than
they
those.
just posted like not that long ago what their confirmed roster was.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna see any changes to like Team Liquid, Cloud9, TSM.
No,
right?
you,
Like,
we,
nah, yeah.
you're right. We probably
The,
won't.
It's
the
just gonna be the
only
bottom few.
change up you might see in any of those is TSM and Cloud9 using their flex rosters.
We're gonna
So
see
seeing
Clutch.
Grig maybe play
Yeah.
from TSM and maybe seeing from like Blabber on Cloud9.
Okay.
But I expect to see nothing that we didn't see in the first split from either of those teams.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we didn't see more changes from Echo Fox or Clutch or more CLG or more Optic.
Yeah.
Basically, like the bottom half of the.
So, quick thoughts, quick predictions. 1 through 10.
Yes. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Just pull up a thing of what the 10 teams are, just so
10 teams, 100
And then,
Thieves,
yeah, you
Cloud9,
can give us our
Clutch,
numbers.
CLG, Echo
All right.
Fox.
Number 1, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're predicting for the end of the whole split. I'm gonna say TLC9 TSM 1 2 3. You can just do like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do actually.
So that's my 1 2 3 TL Cloud9 TSM.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
My 10 is I think
You could
Saligo's.
do. You're gonna do
Oh.
the numbers for all of them.
Yeah.
That is more work.
It is.
Oh,
but
I'm
it'll
gonna
help me.
jump down to my number 10. I think
Ooh, you know what?
100 Thieves will climb out of the
No, I don't
basement,
think so.
and Clutch will adjust and get rid of Piglet too late. I'm gonna put Clutch in last.
Yeah.
Yep, Clutch is my and then 100 Thieves in 9th. That's where I'm going.
I'm gonna put GG's at 5th.
Okay.
I'm gonna gain them a spot.
like
I'm gonna put.
Who do you have as your 4th?
I don't know
We're
yet.
just kind
Oh,
of
okay,
making sure.
I like how you have your 5th without your 4th. Like you're like, I don't know who's gonna be better than them, but I know they're gonna be worse than someone.
No, I can see it.
I'm gonna peg.
Ooh.
I'm gonna peg someone.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. I actually am going to put 100 Thieves back at 10 because fuck them.
That's what
So
I'm doing
hard.
too, actually.
I'm gonna do Clutch is 9. And
It's
I'm
not
gonna
that
do
I believe in
Echo Fox
100
at
Thieves.
8.
It's that I hate Piglet.
So
and
Clutch
I think
at
he's
9?
awful.
And
I don't
what at 8?
actually hate him. I just think he's really bad.
Clutch at 9, yeah, and then I'm gonna do Echo Fox at 8.
Echo Fox, at 8?
No, I'm not doing that. Let's see. I
They
am
didn't
putting,
finish very well this year.
No, you're right.
I'm putting.
Well, they
CLG
ended kind
here.
of strong.
Okay,
I'm
you're
putting
right.
Clutch here.
Oh,
I'm gonna put Optic as my 8. No, because they're not gonna fuck around with the Meteos Dardock stuff.
I'm
I'm
gonna put Optic at 7.
gonna put CLG as my 8, Optic as my 7, Fox as my 6.
Wow, we all have Optic at 7.
Huh.
You know what? That's what I was thinking. Fox at 6 or 5.
So does that mean I need CLG at 6? And what does that leave me with?
FlyQuest.
FlyQuest.
So Fly is your 4.
You can change anything.
Nope,
from
I'm
here.
cool. I'm
Fox
cool with that.
for
Locked
my
in.
6.
Final
Let's
choices.
go.
Did I win the $1 million?
Fly Golden Guardians. All right, so you go
That's
ahead and
what
write
I was-
yours, and I'm going to read them out here. I have TL, Cloud9, TSM, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, Echo Fox, Optic, CLG, 100 Thieves, Clutch. Chase has Team Liquid, Cloud9, TSM, same first 3. Same first 4, FlyQuest, as do you.
I put
Oh, we have
FlyQuest.
same first 5 with Golden Guardians.
I wanted to say that I put mine out first. Boom, suck bitch.
So we all have the same first 5. TL, Cloud9, TSM, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians. We would differ. Number 6, CLG. Echo Fox here. Optic, 7 across the board. I have CLG 8. You have Echo Fox, Clutch. And then 100 Thieves, Clutch, CLG, Clutch, 100 Thieves for 10. So we all see the same top 5. I think, like, we all know the top 3 teams. And then the top 2 that we think can contest because they were good last split.
I
They
can't
seem
wait
to
to
have
start
made
wearing my
improvements.
Golden Guardians hat again.
Right? Yeah. So
I think.
I don't have so much if 100 Thieves finishes first this split. I will drink a 40 if 100 Thieves finishes first. No fucking problem. Like, I will make that bet right now and be so confident.
I will drink
I will
A
drink
beer.
a 40 if 100 Thieves makes
Hold on,
top
hold on, hold on,
6.
40 if
100T first. His 100T 1 through 6. God, you're just making terrible bets for yourself.
No, fuck 100 Thieves.
What?
He's
Fuck
so
'em.
Wait. Do you want to at least put in an addendum that if they bounce Afromoo in the first half, so after 4 weeks, that it they have to finish higher?
Yes.
How high?
6th.
They have to. So the same.
Yeah.
So there is no addendum.
No.
Okay.
Fuck them.
Dude, if they
They're-
get rid of
they're not-
Afromoo after 2 weeks,
They might
and they finish
fucking-
3rd,
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
It won't.
I don't
It
think
won't.
that
Because
will
you know what else wasn't gonna happen?
Because
TLB IG.
Nate
Yeah.
Shot's got fucking
He's got his,
Afro's dick just like in his hand at all times. Like he's just like, how can I massage this and make this better for you? Oh, you're sucking so hard, still gonna grope you. Yeah, basically that.
So
Got graphic up in here.
I think
drinking a beer.
CLG's change is actually going to get them 9th or lower than what they were. I don't even know what they were, but I think they're going to be down at the bottom. I think Clutch has enough in their pocket that they will pull ahead a little bit, but maybe not farther than Optic.
They wonder how confident you are, Chase, and a response was made. I don't think he is. He's just salty with 100T. I think both is true. He's both confident and salty with that.
Fuck 100 Thieves.
Right.
Fucking unos
All right. Well, any last thoughts about LCS before it kicks off here in 2 weeks? I'm excited for it to be back. And
I'm excited that we've got like 2 weeks before we're back.
You need to recover from that 40, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, we will see you following the week 1 of LCS. That should be on June 3rd. And until then, cheers.
Cheers. Here's some water.
Bye, guys.